Hey team, it's Mikey Millions here. In this WallStreetBets case study, we are going to explore one of the most irresponsible trades in history, perpetrated by a certified degenerate gambler by the name of Brigadorski Banhammer, or as he's known in the Kamikaze Cash Discord, Tufi.
Every one of us is used to seeing impulsive, reckless gambling on WallStreetBets. We all remember the likes of Anal Farmer 2, who YOLO'd his way to 700,000 and then back to zero. Or Irony Man, who thought he broke the code, but in the end, only broke himself. And who could control the narrative, who Robin Hood glitched his way to eternal dominion as the king of WallStreetBets. But what all these legends have in common is that they lost their own money. It takes a special kind of debased member of a corrupt society to dip his hands into his mother's life savings, wire it all to himself, and then lose it while gambling on call options. My friends, I present to you Tufi. This is his story. Tufi, like many of us, was born to a middle American family of working-class common folk, aka wage slaves. But unlike 1950s America, in which the dream was to own a house with a white picket fence and a tire swing, Tufi is of the generation that sees opportunities for wealth abundant. His dream has always been to seize the means of wealth production and live a lavish lifestyle. But unfortunately for him, he discovered my dankest trade series, which sent him down the WallStreetBets rabbit hole in November of 2020. What he saw lured him in like a moth to cheese. He determined the best way to achieve his dream was to emulate the legends whose calls printed money like J-Pow. But this goal was not entirely selfish. Watching his mother perform decades of back-breaking manual drudgery pained Tufi immensely. The fruits of her labor, after 30 years of toil, amounted to around $100,000 in a retirement account. This was her reward for sacrificing her time and energy to the industry. To Tufi, this was not enough. He sought to reward his mother with wealth, and this $100,000 was begging to be invested more aggressively. The traditional playbook of tossing this money into a dividend ETF for $6,000 a year to supplement Social Security simply would not suffice. Tufi planned to enrich his mother by using WallStreetBets inspired strategies to multiply the stack 6 times over and then return the money to his mother so that she may retire comfortably. Furthermore, Tufi was so confident in his trading ability that he quit his 6-figure job and sold his car to raise additional funds. In parallel to his mother's money, he would also multiply his own. Tufi was to go all in on what he called Operation Molo, the mother of all YOLOs. But there was an important ethical challenge to face. Certainly, Tufi's mother would not accept buying out-of-the-money calls as a retirement strategy. Therefore, she was to be left in the dark for as long as possible. As a student of financial ninjutsu, and possibly with power of attorney, Tufi accessed his mother's IRA and wired the full $100,000 to his own account. Certainly, this maneuver would constitute a withdrawal and have tax implications. But as Tufi saw it, this was a necessary expense. You can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. During his wait for the funds to transfer, Tufi surfed WallStreetBets to investigate potential investment opportunities. After some digging, he discovered Nano Dimension Limited, ticker NNDM, an Israeli company that uses 3D printing to produce electronic components and boasts stellar earnings of about -$17 million per quarter. Tufi then observed extensive DD on YouTube to reinforce his interest. Specifically, he watched videos by Mcash and Richard Allen, both of whom post shitty DD like every day. Both claimed this company was going to change the game and enrich its investors with 10,000% gains. They even used rocket emojis to reinforce their claims. The DD could not be stronger. Tufi was ready. When this $100,000 reached Tufi's account, he knew exactly what to do with it. NNDM was catching fire, and this opportunity was not to be missed. When the big day arrived, Nano Dimension was trading for about $16 and was in the middle of what appeared to be a moon mission. There was no time to waste. In one big trade, the degenerate threw down all $100,000 into 104 calls at the $2 and $10 strikes expiring in December. His break-even was $19.85, about 20% higher than the stock's all-time high. To those in the know, this type of investment into an in-the-money call expiring 11 months out is known as a LEAPS, a long-term equity anticipation security. NNDM LEAPS would decide the fate of Tufi's mother's finances, and resultantly turn Tufi into, literally, a motherfucker. Initially, Tufi's investment did well. The stock bumped up to about $17.50, and our man was looking at a $13,000 gain. This is a nice chunk of change, but it wouldn't even compensate for the penalties and tax implications of withdrawing $100,000 from a retirement account too early. Tufi needed more from Nano Dimension. Much more. But Nano Dimension would not deliver. In February and March, the stock suffered a devastating downtrend. The company announced earnings of -$9 million, disappointing investors who expected results. The January price increase quickly reversed course, and Nano shares began changing hands in the single digits once again. Tufi's $10 leaps were now out of the money by $2, and their value plummeted. In a month, he had lost $60,000 of his mother's money. And then it got worse. As is customary, the organization that previously held Tufi's mother's retirement funds sent her a quarterly account statement identifying that all of her money was gone. If it gives us any hint of Tufi's upbringing, Mama had a feeling right from the get-go of where her money had gone. Mama Tufi reached out to her son, who folded like a cheap suit and revealed the extent of his corruption. $60,000 had already evaporated. Decades of savings was gone. It was devastating. But Tufi pressed his Nano Dimension elevator pitch, and Mama reluctantly gave her son permission to continue, perhaps for the sake of their relationship, rather than throw him out of the house and sue. Just so we're clear, this is called enabling. And I ain't no dentist, but I'm assuming that by allowing Tufi to continue, Mama also abandoned any argument she had for seeking restitution. In any case, Tufi now had a mission: recover the lost funds. And he would seek to achieve it with iron hands, as he gripped his calls with every ounce of fortitude he could muster. And for additional sauce, he added another $5,100 of his own money to thrust even more shaft into his trade. But as fate would have it, his iron hands began to rust. Nano Dimension shares wallowed down even further as fear and capitulation took root. By the time Tufi revealed his position once again on March 9th, his account was worth about 38 Gs, and he had lost over 74 grand. In a last-ditch effort for redemption, Tufi liquidated all of his remaining $15,000 of personal property to replenish his buying power. The madman was determined to win his mother's money back, even if it meant putting the remainder of his net worth up for ransom. Once again, he had some initial success, but things took a turn for the worst when his Amazon put credit spread went in the money. His personal account is slightly underperforming his goals and currently sits at $2.40. To make matters even worse, NNDM wallowed between $6 and $8 for the next several months. All the while, Theta continued to diminish the value of these calls. As of July 1st, Tufi has not revealed his portfolio for several months. But by viewing the current options chain, we can safely assume his $10 calls are now worth about $150 each, half of what they were in March. His $2.50 strikes worth a collective $5,000. His new account value is likely between $18,000 and $19,000. $83,000 of his mother's retirement money, plus $4,000 of his own, is gone. Of the 30 years Mama Tufi spent grinding, her savings from 25 of those years have melted away, done in by the hands of her degenerate spawn whom she should have swallowed. But rest assured, Tufi assures us his story is not over. Although he currently has no car, no job, and a net worth under $2,000, the defiled champion pledges to continue trading until he recovers his mother's funds, replenishes her, and makes her whole once again. His tactics consist of buying call options on a wider variety of stocks, including SPY, BlackBerry, Berkshire Hathaway, and Amazon. With any luck, Tufi will rise from the ashes, indemnify his mother, and restore honor to his name. The mission will not be an easy one, but by the grace of the Bull of Wall Street, may our man find success, inshallah.